only on across all sectors, consumers, business. The DTI decided to come up with the MC, and this is one way of at least curbing the effect of this pandemic. And one of which is we have to provide some sort of a balanced economic relief to all persons affected, consumers, as well as, of course, businesses who might be, of course, affected by the cancellation and scaling down of the scheduled events brought about by this ongoing public health emergency and the social distancing directives. Then, who are covered by this MC? Well, it covers all persons, natural or juridical, whose transactions or commitments related to holding of events, whether personal or business or work-related events, wherein full or partial payment has been made, which event or functions have been scaled down or cancelled because of this pandemic and because of the public health emergency, and because of that, there is an issuance of social distancing directives for the imposed community quarantines, whether ECQ, yung enhanced community quarantine, or yung modified enhanced community quarantine, or yung present NCR, yung general community quarantine. Next slide, please. Okay. The MC 20-30 series of 2020 defines what are those personal events or business events. These are under the personal events. Pagka tinignan ho ninyo doon sa inyong kaliwang column, we have yung birthdays, christenings, yung pagbibinyag ho, yung weddings, anniversaries, Thanksgiving, family reunions, and other similar events. On the business or work-related events, you have the conferences, seminars, workshops, team buildings, planning sessions, other similar events. The other similar events may be conventions or fora, forum or fora. But please take note, however, that the business events or work-related events must be paid under the company, firm, or association. Next slide, please. Well, with respect to refund concession, any deposit or advance or down payment, whether it's partially or fully, for personal or business or work-related events, shall be partially or fully refunded if the following conditions are present. The dates of the event must fall within the community quarantine. So that is the ECQ, MECQ, or GCQ. Another is the event was scaled down or canceled due to the public health emergency and social distancing. Next slide, please. The key terms for the MC, for purposes of determining whether or not we will be able to have a application of this MC, is the deposit of advance payment. What does it cover? The deposit or advance payment covers the use or occupancy of the leased premises or venue, the food to be catered during the event, and other related services such as rent of a vehicle or equipment to be used in such an event. Well, a scaled down event is one which, of course, reduces the number of capacity of guests to ensure compliance with the social distancing directive. Say, for instance, if the contract of participants in any event would be 100 persons, but because of this social distancing directive, medyo bumaba ho siya o lumiit. So that's the scale down event. Next slide, please. Okay. Well, the MC recognizes validity of a contract, and this and the terms and conditions on force majeure in a valid contract between the parties shall be recognized. In the absence of the contract, the applicable provisions of the new Civil Code of the Philippines may serve as a guide. Okay, the screen shows what are the instances where the event host will be entitled to a refund. Pagka tinignan ho ninyo dito sa kaliwa ng column, ito po yung mga instances where the event host shall be entitled to a refund. One is you made full or partial payment before community quarantine was imposed. The event or the date of event shall fall during the community quarantine, whether enhanced community quarantine, modified enhanced community quarantine, or general community quarantine, or modified general community quarantine. But here in NCR, we have yet to go to the road of MGCQ. Next is the event can no longer take place because of the social distancing directive and has to be cancelled or needs to be cancelled or needs to be scaled down because of the compliance of social distancing or physical distancing. Dito sa kanan ninyo, ito naman ho yung event host na hindi siya entitled to a refund. Kung yung nagbayad siya was made after the community quarantine was imposed. And the next one is if the contract between the parties contains any terms and conditions that prepayment, that there is a forfeiture of prepayment in case of a fortuitous event. Next slide, please. Well, we now come to the venue owner, wherein the venue owner, what are the instances where the venue owner are required to return the money that he or she has already spent on the expenses for an event to take place during the community quarantine. One is if expenses were incurred by the venue owner or representative after the community quarantine was imposed. The next, on your right column, ito naman po yung venue owner where required to return only a portion of the prepayment. If the event was scaled down in order to comply with social distancing directives and government issued health and safety protocols. And if in order to prepare for the event, valid and verifiable expenses were incurred prior to the imposition of community quarantine. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. Well, the MC provides for options for refund concession. In case there are two uh, there are several options that the parties can choose from. In the case of canceled events or functions, and the schedule of which are falling within the community quarantine, the owner of the venue or its representative shall give the other party the following options. Consume the amount paid at a later date within 1 year from the lifting of the restrictions imposed by the government. Then give the net of the amount paid after deducting all the relevant actual expenses incurred. Take note, before the imposition of restrictions. Well, of course, with the showing of proof of that expenses. Then another option is give back the full amount, regardless of expenses incurred after the imposition of restrictions. Next slide, please. Well, for scaled down events of functions, and the same are scheduled within the community quarantine, the owner of the venue or its representative shall give the other party the following options. Same option with that of the canceled events or functions. You consume the amount paid at a later date, which means you can reschedule it at a later date. Then, but it should not be no later than 1 year from the lifting of the restriction imposed by the government. Then give the refund in such amount proportionate to the agreed scheduled down payment or function after deducting relevant actual expenses incurred before the imposition of restriction. Of course, with proof of such expenses. Then get a refund in such amount proportionate to agreed scheduled down scaled down event or function, regardless of expenses incurred after the imposition of restriction. Next slide, please. Okay. Well, of course, we cannot also discount the fact na marami naman ho tayong mga event owner or representative na know also the conditions of everyone, especially in these times of crisis. That's why the MC also provides a particular provision that shows recognizing yung goodwill, yung act of liberality, as well as generosity of the event owner. So, pwede rin naman kung return the full amount without deduction of relevant actual cost. So either party can do this as an act of goodwill or liberality or generosity. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, there are procedures for making a refund concession, which the parties may, of course, observe. One procedure is that the party who made the advance reservation or payment, kailangan ipaalam niya po doon sa owner or representative of the venue yung kanya pong decision to cancel or scale down the scheduled event. Thereafter, within 5 days, assuming the venue or the representative receive that decision or letter coming from the other party, kailangan ho i-reply niya, i-acknowledge niya yung letter na yan. And the event owner will also indicate in that letter, with the reply letter of acknowledgement, yung options available. Yung kung nabanggit ko kanina, whether it's a canceled event or function, or a scaled down event or function. And of course, sasabihin niya rin ho doon yung paano nila gagawin or possibly options. Then, if the yung party who made the deposit or reservation, pag natanggap niya ho yun, then kung ano po yung binigay na options nung other party, mamimili siya doon, then he or she will relay that to the event owner. Then once that the event owner receives that option na nagustuhan niya yon, then within 5 days from that receipt, the venue owner representative shall confirm yung kanyang letter. As well, kung ano yung options na napagpilian niya. Okay? Then, well, any implementation of the refund should be based on whatever period and terms that the parties agreed. However, if there is no agreed terms or period within which the refund shall be implemented, the same shall be made within 30 days from receipt of confirmation notice by the party who made the payment. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. Assuming all the efforts by the parties to settle the refund failed, yung ating pong DTI Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau or yung ating pong DTI Provincial Office concerned shall, upon written request, issue a letter directing both parties to go through DTI alternative dispute resolution procedure. Ito po yung tinatawag po nating mediation, wherein parties will go to a amicable settlement. Or in case there is failure again in the mediation, then we'll go to the next step of alternative dispute resolution, which is yung tinatawag na arbitration. Next. Please go back, scroll back, please. So, pending receipt of notice from the DTI, the requesting party shall update the DTI FTEB or yung pong ating DTI Provincial Office of any status on the subject concerned. Kailangan ho, palagi ho nilang i-update po yung ating pong DTI FTEB or DTI Provincial Office whether or not kung ano po yung pinag-usapan towards the resolution of the complaint. Then failure of party to update the concerned DTI office of any development shall create a presumption that the case has been resolved by the parties. So in other words, if our DTI FTEB or provision office did not receive any of updating or development of the agreement towards the resolution of the case, then we will take it to mean that the issue between the parties are resolved. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, we now go to the charges and sanctions provided under the NCP 20-30. These are the applicable provisions with respect to charges and sanctions. We have the Consumer Act of the Philippines, yung pong ating Republic Act number 7994. Ito po yung pinaka-biblia po ng ating pong DTI, but not only DTI but other implementing agencies. Yung pong New Civil Code of the Philippines, yung pong Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, then other applicable regulations, policies, and ordinances relevant to the resolution of the case. Slide please. Okay, maraming salamat po. That ends my presentation. Thank you.